Hello. Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. So today let's solve some more C++. Um, Actually let's learn some more C++, I would say. So let's learn a new concept which is object-oriented programming in C++. So let's see. So OOPS stands for object-oriented programming, and object-oriented programming is about creating objects which can hold data and functions that work on that data. All right. So, okay, I think you all can't see me. So let me just, okay, now I'm back. So, all right. So once again, hello everybody. Welcome back to the stream. Let's start off. All right. So, all right. So let's get started again. Okay. So there are some advantages of object-oriented programming. Um, Provides a clear structure to programs, makes code easier to maintain, reuse, and debug. All right. So that's an advantage of OOPS. Um, and other than that, it is also helps keep your code dry. Dry is don't repeat yourself, right? So we will learn more about this later. And makes it possible to create full reusable applications with less code and shorter development time. And so, dry principles means you should avoid writing the same code more than once. Move repeated code into functions or classes and reuse it. What are classes and objects? Classes and objects are two main aspects of object-oriented programming. You will see classes and objects used, you know, a lot. So, class defines what an object should look like, and an object is created based on that class. For example, you have fruit as a class, then obviously the objects would be apple, banana, mango. And if car is a class, then objects would be the cars, right? Whatever cars there are. When you create an object from a class, it inherits all the variables and functions defined inside the class. So that's that. So what's the difference between procedural and object-oriented? Procedural is about writing functions that operate on data. Object-oriented is about creating objects that contain both the data and the functions. In procedural programming, the code is organized around functions. In object-oriented, the code is organized around objects. So let's see what are objects. We'll see that in the next slide. All right. C++ classes and objects. C++ is an object-oriented, obviously, we know that. Everything in C++ is associated with classes and objects, along with its attributes and methods. Um, so about the car, that car has some attributes such as weight and color, and methods such as drive and brake. So attributes and methods are basically variables and functions that belongs to the class. This is important to know. So these are often referred to as class members. What are class members? Attributes and methods, right? So A class is user-defined data type that we can use in our program, and it works as an object constructor or a blueprint for creating objects. To create a class, use a class keyword. So this is how we can create a class. So class, you have to use a class keyword and then you can give a name. So there are certain conventions that you should follow while naming, right? It should be camel casing, not camel casing. This is actually, yeah, can say kind of camel casing, but the first letter should be capital. That is important. So public is there, right? Access specifier, we look at that. Int, integer type, which is attribute, and then you're giving the name, string, and then the name of the string. All right, so there is an example. Okay, this is what given explanation over here. Um, so as I said, class keyword is create class. Public keyword is an access specifier which specifies that members. So there are different keywords. If you are familiar with Java, you would know this already. There is public, private, you know, different kinds of keywords like this. So of the class and are accessible outside the class. So if it's public, so members of this class are accessible outside this class as well. So that is public. Inside the class, there is an integer variable, a string, yeah, that's there. So that is how to create the class. So here they have also created an object. Object is created from a class. We already have a class named my class, right? So to create an object of my class, specify the class name followed by the object name, right? So to access the class attributes, use the dot syntax, obviously. So here, this is how they're doing it. So class is defined over here, and then the public access specifier, you need that. And then you, okay, you have to initialize this block of code over here is there. Then after that, in the main function, you're creating an object of my class. So you're calling this, right? And then you're creating an object, right? And then after that, access attributes and set values. So if you have created an object, now you can say my object, and then you can get the my num from here, which you have already initialized, and then you can add the value over here. Similarly for string as well, right? My can call this, can use this object here, and then also have the string over here, right? My string, which you initialized earlier in the class. So some text, and then you can see out both using my object dot my num, same thing, right? So now let's see how we can do this in a program. So let's do it, because unless we do it by ourselves, we are not going to uh, get enough practice. So let me just uh, give class.ccpp and okay, I think I created, okay, move that. All right, let me create. All right, now we are good. Now I'll just do hash include IO stream using namespace std So now we have to create a class. So I'm going to use a class keyword and then say my class, my class. I use that. Okay. And you have to have the bracket, right? And inside you say public, use a semicolon, and this is access specifier, right? And after that you have to initialize integer my num and string. You can also say my str. And now after this I can say int main, and then I can go ahead and initialize an object for this class. What happened over here? Um, okay, you have to terminate this. All right, I think that's good. Now, um, let me create an object first. So we have to call the class my class, and then my obj object, my obj, and then here, as you can see, that's it. All right, you've created an object now, and now you can call my obj dot, and then you can say my num equal to maybe 12 or whatever, and then my obj again dot my str equal to, I'm just going to say myself, and terminate this, and then you can just see out both of these, my obj dot my num, and give a slash over here, and the same thing at the bottom. Instead of my num, it's going to be my str. That's it. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I think that's good enough. So let me just run this. Let me just try and run this. I will have to change the name of this file. It is class. Let me run and see if I get the output. I'll keep it short today because this is not something that we should just rush just for the sake of it. But let's go slow. But what happened here? All right, undefined. I don't know what happened here. Let me just check. Hash include IO stream using HBCD. Looks fine to me, but something has gone wrong. Do we have to include anything? Okay. Guess we have to return, but I think that is okay, right? Return 0. Let's see now. Oh, I can save it probably. Guess I didn't save it. Let's see. Now it should be good. Let's see what happens now. taking some time, that's okay. If you just joined, welcome to the stream. Huh, we're just learning some C++. All right, it's successfully compiled, so that's good news. Let's just run it now and see if it works. Let's see, class. Yeah, so it works 12 and then myself just got printed. So that's how we can do it. Good. Let's keep going. You can also create multiple objects of one class. So what this says is you can create just one class, right? There is car, and then there is different objects in the car class. So car obj1, right? Can just create different objects. So for example, if there is, say, I created obj, right? So I can also create obj2, right? You say this is obj1, or let it be obj itself, and I will call this second one. I can just call it as my obj2, right? Um, and then my obj2, I'm going to say I can use the same thing. Here it's going to be 15. My obj2, my str. Over here, I'm going to have it as uh, maybe u. Okay, so that's it. And for printing, I'll just say here my obj2 and here as well. Um, Even here, I need to do this slash n. All right, now we are good. I guess. Let me terminate this as well. All right, now it's good. So now we just created different objects in the same class, and that can get printed. All right. Now, as you can see, 12, myself, 15, you got printed, which is exactly what we wanted as well. So that is good too. Uh, what else do we have? Okay, there is a challenge task given. Create a class book with the following attributes. Title string, author string. Okay. So it should give the output like this. All right. So I think it's quite straightforward, right? Um, what we should do. You can just over here, if you see,